morning, folks. What a beautiful morning, folks. Beautiful morning. We got a lot to talk about. It's been a while since I see you. I did lie on my playback stream. I said that this a couple nights ago would be the last stream for this beautiful microphone right here. That was a lie. I'm waiting on one more piece to the puzzle to get here today, and then that will be that. But we got a lot to talk about. First and foremost, how about this? We're back. I was worried that Bleach Report streaks had come to its final conclusion, but fortunately, it is here. Herb Jones for vaccine 2 first-round picks. Who says no? The Pelicans. All right, here we go. Let's get this week started off right. Let's get back into the groove of things. The holiday season is coming to a conclusion. Everyone's going back to work. People might have the next few days off, but outside of that, we're back to work. Let's get things started. Bleach Report streaks. This team has the AFC West clinch. Oh, God. Okay, I know this is the Chiefs, but I am worried that this is going to be an NFL-centered day. The two brothers currently on the Magic, Mo and Franz. Come on now. Frederick. The Kraken are the newest NHL team, which is the second newest. The Golden Knights. All right, we got NHL out the way. Who did Pedro Martinez sign with after the 2004 MLB season? I think the Phillies, right? Oh, no. Was he not on the Phillies? Well, that one stings. That feels like one I should know. I should have known. This century, the Red Sox have beaten the Cardinals, Dodgers, and blank in the World Series. Rockies, right? Then they beat the Rockies. What's up with so many Red Sox questions? Which of these men college basketball teams have never won a national championship? All right, we would have gotten fucked here. Duke, yes. Kansas, yes. Marquette or Butler? I kind of feel like it's Marquette. Okay. Men's college basketball is not my forte. Who did the White Sox sweep in the 2005 World Series? That was the Astros, right? When was the last time the Reds won the World Series? Oh, God. Specifically, they were really good. I think it was the 80s. What? This is a rough one today. How many World Series have the Phillies won? I mean, dude, they've been around for hundreds of years. 3. Okay. Who led the FBS in receiving yards this season? I know this is a trick question. I know it's Nick Nash. That's actually crazy. I actually know that. Wow. Well, that was terrible. That was one of the worst performances we've had on Bleach Report streaks yet. That's all right though. We'll I keep seeing Afford is asked on the timeline. Is this true, Mr. Bias? I don't know who Afford is. Oh, Gafford. I thought you were doing a Matt Stafford thing. Hello, Slightly from the Netherlands. Salute. Salute. We want to see Olynyk to the Mavs. Yeah, do we? We do? Oh, I guess I didn't know. Heat versus Rockets fight. Wonder what the suspensions are. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So part of the let's just get into it, man. Let's just get into it. Part of the problem with the holiday, I've been busy. I traveled. I had friends, family coming to town, stuff like that. Is I have not watched anywhere near as much NBA basketball as I usually do. Nowhere near as much. So we're really just going to get into some slop today. Today we're just going to be talking about some slop, some trade stuff. We did have a trade yesterday. We had a fight last night in the Rockets and Heat game. And then we got some other stuff to talk about as well, I guess. You going to be live today? I will be live for the Mavs game tonight, yes. I'm telling you right now. We'll talk about some of the King stuff as well. I'm going to tell you right now, I got a bad feeling. I got a bad feeling. I hate whenever my team plays the team that's clearly talented, but on a losing streak. You get what I'm saying? The clearly talented team that's playing worse than they probably should, that's like on a 6-game losing streak and desperate for a win. I hate playing that team because it just feels like they're due one. When's the last time that's gone poorly? Timberwolves? On Christmas Day against the Mavs? You knew that they were due a game like that? When you coming out with the cologne? Soon. Curry doesn't need to go off tonight. Hopefully our role players come out. Yeah. Good morning, folks. It's good to be back slightly early. We are back from our holiday hiatus. And now we're back. People in my chat asking me, when am I coming out with my autobiography? Soon. I'm just giving, I've given some other authors their chance on the New York Times bestsellers list before we take it over for the next 15 years. Okay? So today on today's show, I just mentioned this. Yeah, it's been a busy last couple weeks for me. Holiday season. I would say always, check in on your family, hang out with your friends, your people, all of that stuff during the holiday season. So I have not watched anywhere near as much NBA basketball as I would like. So today's going to be a very slop-oriented stream. Very slop-oriented stream where we talk about trade stuff. We talk about some of the drama around the NBA. There's been a lot of fights. Lately. ESPN dropped an article, best NBA college high school basketball players by age 14 through 40. I don't want to look at a list where we're ranking 14-year-old players, to be honest with you. It doesn't feel good to me for a lot of separate different reasons. But today we have a good amount to talk about. The Sacramento Kings, obviously, are a story that deserves our attention. Firing head coach Mike Brown over the weekend, that led to quite a lot of discussion as to whether or not that was warranted or not. You had Michael Malone, head coach of the Denver Nuggets, obviously coming out and saying that no balls, no class, no balls about that organization. You had George Karl, who is always very opinionated and has stuff that he wants you to know that he has to say, chiming in as well. I was going to look around tweets for this, but I feel like the best place to go for all of this info is just the Sacramento Kings subreddit. Like, talk about a subreddit and a community that's really going through it, huh? They've really been struggling this season to try and come to grips with what's happening. Now, if you are part of this channel, it shouldn't come as much of a surprise to you. We called this. Are we surprised? No. We called this. We called the Sacramento Kings not being that great of a team so far this season. And I do have to. I've been wondering this. The beam. Do you just kill it? I mean, at this point, those type of like really fun gimmicky things are only fun when your team is fun. When your team's not fun, it's a little bit sad if you're 1-8 in your last 9 games and you're lighting the beam for that one game. It doesn't hit the same. It doesn't hit the same. What the fuck do you want? You want to go inside? You were just in there. He's such a spoiled brat. This cat is such a spoiled brat, he is. He doesn't want to come hang out with me, but he wants to go in there. All right, fine. So anyways, talk to your wife, yeah. Anyways, I feel like it's very interesting to check this subreddit out. I'm interested to see what their opinions are, the Sacramento Kings fans, and just where they. Is this one of the worst vibes in the league so far this season? The Sixers have turned it around. The Pelicans are already bottomed out. They're at the bottom. They can't get any worse than this. Just looking around the NBA, does any team like feel worse about where they're at? If we just look at the standings, be nice to the baby. Oh, he's a spoiled brat. Trust me, he lives a very good life. I don't think there's any team with worse vibes. Honest to God. The Warriors' vibes are tanking. They're cratering. So that's one to monitor. The Suns' vibes are pretty bad as well. But the Kings' vibes, you fire your coach who was beloved. Like just a couple of seasons removed from winning Coach of the Year. And I want to talk about that really quickly because people are always so surprised by that. Oh my God, he just won Coach of the Year. I can't believe you'd fire him after winning Coach of the Year. We see this all of the time. Across sports, this happens in the NFL where guys win Coach of the Year. They call it a curse, winning Coach of the Year in the NFL, because it feels like you're on your way to getting canned soon. And if you look at the NBA Coach of the Year recent award winners, Dagnott won last year. Well, you would probably assume that he's safe, right? You have Mike Brown fired, Monty Williams fired, Tom Thibodeau still there. Nick Nurse, gone. Budenholzer, gone. Dwayne Casey was fired, I believe, the year he won this. Am I wrong? Didn't Dwayne Casey get fired before he was presented with this award? Am I misremembering that? But as you can see, it's not an award that grants you a lot of job security. And I talked about this on one of my playback streams, playback.tv/slightly biased. I'm thinking about doing like a playback, not a subathon type of thing, but I wonder how possible it is if I was like, yo, I'm streaming X amount of days. I want to have more members than anybody else on playback by the end of it. Who has the most, I wonder? The dunker spot? Tell me that doesn't say 45,000. The most is 22,000. I wonder how possible it is. We're at 2,000. But we also we're a little inconsistent over there. But anyways, let's continue before I continue to get derailed this much. I was saying, you look at the award winners here, and there's a common trend. If you win Coach of the Year, it's usually on a team that was not supposed to be as good as it ended up being. Dagnall won it last year. Obviously, the Thunder won 57 games. That was a team that a lot of people had in the play-in tournament going into the season. They finished as the 1 seed. Mike Brown, the Sacramento Kings, that was a team that nobody really expected much out of. They finished as the 3 seed. Now, granted, it was a weird, wonky season. They won 48 games and were the 3 seed. 48 games, that probably gets you in the play-in tournament most years in the Western Conference. But hey, nobody expected that, so he won. Monty Williams on the Phoenix Suns, 64 wins. I think people expected them to be good, but 64 wins is crazy. You know, it doesn't go to the established guys, right? Like, who's the favorite to win it this year? Kenny Atkinson, right? He's got to be the favorite to win Coach of the Year this season. Coach of the Year favorite. It's got to be Kenny Atkinson. Which, new coach, you know, not really. I mean, people expected the Cavs to be good, but they're at another level. Should be Jamal Mosley. Yeah, it probably should be. But I actually feel like Jamal Mosley's reaching this weird race. This actually is interesting. Let's check in on where some of these betting odds are. Wow. Shea is now the betting favorite to win MVP. When did that change? When did that happen? Shea's plus 125, Jokic plus 135, Giannis third, Tatum fourth, sitting at fifth in MVP odds. Victor Wembanyama. How about that? Obviously, Luka is no longer going to be eligible. I do think Shea's, I'm telling you guys, Mavs fans, you need to buckle up. Shea's probably going to win this shit. Just letting you know. Just letting you know. Okay. Rookie of the year right now, Zach Edey is a pretty overwhelming favorite over Yves Missy. Okay. Defensive player of the year, Wemby is a comfortable favorite. Minus 270. Wow. Jalen Johnson, Tyler Hero, tied for most improved. I gave Tyler Hero a most improved shout a couple weeks into the season. We'll talk about him here more in a bit. Sixth man of the year, Peyton Pritchard, comfortable favorite. Coach of the year, Kenny Atkinson, currently a comfortable favorite over Taylor Jenkins. But you look at some of the other guys on this list. Like, who would you consider the best coach in the NBA? But do we still think it's Spo? The Heat are 16 and 14. Do we think Spoelstra is coach of the year or the best coach in the NBA still? Or is there room for debate? Dagnall definitely has an argument. Kill a kid, yeah. Kill a kid. All right. But Dagnall won it last year. The Thunder are on pace to win 60-plus games in an unbelievable Western Conference, and he's below Ty Lue on Coach of the Year lists, on the Coach of the Year betting thing. Spoelstra is not even, I don't even think he's in the top 20 on here. So it is Kid. I mean, you got to think about it. Kid's not even on here. Kid doesn't even have odds on here. Like, J.J. Redick has odds. He's not winning that shit. Mike Budenholzer still has odds. They're the 11 seed. Jordy Fernandez has odds. They're bottoming out. He's a great coach. They're bottoming out. Jason Kidd, the Mavs are the 4 seed with all these injuries. He's not even on this fucking list. So what I'm trying to get at is the Coach of the Year stuff so often comes down to teams that people don't really expect anything out of that really kind of surprise us. And I think that leads to some volatility, right? Because that means your roster's flawed usually. Like, you dealt with injuries. Maybe there was some luck there. And when the Kings were the 3 seed, there was a ton of luck. Injury luck, clutch luck, all of that stuff. And it's not that much of a surprise that they've just kind of stayed the same. Now, with that being said, the roster construction has been terrible. I've talked about this all preseason. And I always feel bad for how much I poo-poo the Kings. Because they're the Kings. Who really needs to poo-poo them? Their whole franchise history pretty much has been them getting poo-pooed. So I don't like doing it, especially after they were the 3 seed. It was a fun story. They were all the team that everyone rooted for. Light the beam, so much fun. Mike Brown, turn on the fucking Jets. Like, we all loved it. But I sat there and I was like, the West is horrible this year. So many teams were injured. This is not like that great of a Kings team. They were very fortunate and they took advantage of it. Then they go into that offseason and do nothing. What did they do that offseason after they were the 3 seed? What was their big move? Remember, they extended, they brought back Harrison Barnes. There was a lot of talk that they had cap space and they were getting X, Y, and Z. They bring back Harrison Barnes on a big extension. Sasha Vesnikov. That was their move. They went out and they got Sasha Vesnikov. Who they salary dumped a year later. Vezenkov. Okay, Vezenkov. Sasha Vezenkov. Last year was a disappointment, obviously. They go into the offseason. What do? Well, they got a salary dump, guys. How much did they give up to salary dump guys in an effort to bring in DeMar DeRozan? Oh, look, here we go. From James Ham's newsletter today, an incredible display of incompetence, wasting assets from this front office. In the summer of 2023, McNair and Wilcox sent a pair of second-round selections to the Indiana Pacers for Chris Duarte including the Dallas Mavericks 2028 second. How the fuck did they get that? The Mavs just said second round. I don't know. I don't know how people get possession of the Dallas Mavericks second round pick. I'm trying to think in my brain what that trade could have been where the Mavericks gave the Kings the second round pick, and it's not clicking. And their own 2030 second. Was that part of the Rashawn Holmes trade, maybe? So they went out and got Chris Duarte. Was there a reasoning for that? God, Chris Duarte. Gross. The Hardy trade. Oh, okay. All right. As part of a 3-team sign and trade this last summer, the Kings sent Duarte alongside with their 2025 second round pick and their own 2028 second to the Bulls as part of the DeMar DeRozan acquisition. That deal also sent Harrison Barnes and a potential 2031 pick swap to the San Antonio Spurs. Just going to tell you right now that it's a 2031 first-round pick swap. That shit will be going to the San Antonio Spurs. You never know in the NBA, obviously, but imagining 7 years from now, Victor Wembanyama is going to be 27 years old and probably more likely than not the best player in the NBA by probably a comfortable margin, playing on a San Antonio Spurs team that probably is very, very competitive. And we'll just look at the track record of the Sacramento Kings. That shit's probably going to be the San Antonio Spurs pick. All right? The Spurs will probably be picking fairly highly in that draft. And the Kings will probably be picking in the low 20s. Okay? In addition to the trade above, McNair and Wilcox sent 2 second-round selections to the Toronto Raptors, along with Davion Mitchell and Sasha Vezenkov, in a salary dump that brought back Jalen McDaniels. Chuck goes with a $4.99 hypothetical. If you were a GM starting a franchise and you could either have Wemby and Paolo or any 2 players besides those 2, who do you take? If I'm starting a franchise from scratch, Wemby and Paolo, or I could take any 2. Well, if I could just pick any 2 players to start a franchise with, Wemby is one of them, for sure. The other one would be Luka. But if it was anyone besides those 2, I would go Luka. Man, I kind of feel like the gap between Wemby and who else I would have paired next to Luka. Wemby and Paolo, you'd be winning forever. You would be winning forever. Luka and SGA, that would be good. That would be nasty. Point guard and shooting guard, yeah, but I think I'd like a bigger player next to Luka, personally. I think I'd probably go Wemby and Paolo. Luka and Giannis, yeah, but you got to win in the next 2 or 3 years. Whereas, hypothetically, Wemby and Paolo, you're good. Kyrie and Braun. Wemby and Paolo, you're good for the next decade plus. And Wemby and Paolo gives you size. Luka and Wemby would be my obvious answer. Kleba and Omax, yeah, you're set if that's your duo. Sorry, we're off the beat. We're interesting hypothetical, but let's lock back in. So a salary dump, Davion Mitchell, Sasha Vezenkov for Jalen McDaniels. I shit all over that move when that happened. That made no fucking sense to me whatsoever. One of the second-round picks was Sacramento's 2024 selection, and the second was a 2025 second-rounder from the Portland Trailblazers. Sacramento later sent McDaniels to the San Antonio Spurs, along with their 2031 second-round pick, in a salary dump. To add insult to injury, Vezenkov opted to return to Europe and walked away from a $6.6 million salary for this season. Oh, so they salary dumped Vezenkov, and he retired anyways. Okay. That one stings a little bit. And this doesn't even mention, by the way, this doesn't even mention maybe the most egregious one, which was trading a first-round pick during the 2023 draft to dump Rashawn Holmes. And the Mavericks turning that into Olivier Maxence-Prosper, who, hasn't really developed into much of anything up until this point. But all of these salary dump trades, and by the way, salary dump trades does not make, like, a smart, clever salary dump does not make your GM, your front office good. Okay? Now, there's context to that. I'm about to sound like a homer because I'm going to say, oh, well, the Dallas Mavericks, like Nico Harrison had a masterful salary dump this past year. He did. Dumping Tim Hardaway Jr. and a few second-round picks to the Detroit Pistons and getting Quentin Grimes, who's turned into a very important key rotational piece for them. That's a masterful trade. I don't even count that shit as a salary dump, even though it was, because Quentin Grimes has ended up becoming such an important player for the Mavericks. Meanwhile, you have Calvin Booth and the Denver Nuggets, dumping 3 second-round picks to get off of Reggie Jackson's $5 million contract. Three second-round picks just to get off Reggie Jackson's $5 million contract, getting nothing in return. The next day, 24 hours later, the Dallas Mavericks trade 3 second-round picks and Tim Hardaway Jr., who was making $18 million, to the Pistons, getting Quentin Grimes in return. That had to make Nuggets fans sick. But anyways, look at all these salary dumps. My God. Now, to be fair, all of these salary dumps were pretty much made in an effort to bring in DeMar DeRozan. And this was the thing in the offseason that was weird for me with DeRozan and the Kings. What up, Reader? It's ironic you say that because we're talking about the Kings. The DeRozan was cool. It's cool that like a team like Sacramento, who throughout their franchise's history, you don't get free agents. You don't get too many guys who are saying, I want to go play for Sacramento. To get a guy like DeMar DeRozan, a Hall of Famer, for sure going to be the Hall of Fame, who's still a really good player, all-star level player, around all-star level player, saying, hey, I want to go play for Sacramento. I'm Sacramento, let's go. That's cool. That's awesome. That's sick. That's great. Fans are excited. They should be. The fit makes zero fucking sense. None whatsoever. Made no sense. And it's not really working out. Their three-point shooting is abysmal. Keegan Murray's 29% from 3. Kevin Huerter's 31% from 3. Now, you can look at all of these guys having bad three-point shooting seasons and say, oh, well, it's just bad shooting luck and that's part of it. Or you can look at it and say, there's no fucking spacing. They don't have guys who space the fucking floor on the court. They'll probably set the record for most threes tonight. Then, yeah, I could see that. It's just a strange fit. It really is. If the Kings would simply make all of their 3 balls, none of this would be happening. Dude, if any team made all their fucking threes, nothing would ever be happening. Okay? Sorry to get a little worked up there. If every team made their fucking threes, then nothing would ever happen. You understand? You can't just say, well, if we just made our threes. Kings' entire three-point shooting, Harrison Barnes. That's actually kind of true, is what's funny. Like, they actually kind of just needed that guy. Is Kispert a Mavs option? I can't really think of why that would be the case, to be honest with you. Can't really think of it. Yeah, this is a hilarious meme right here. Fans, Mike Brown deserves to be fired. Mike Brown gets fired. Shocked Pikachu face. This is funny because I mentioned this. As I saw Kings fans all over Twitter and shit like that, just begging for Mike Brown to get fired, saying that he's a horrible coach. And it was really funny to see the rest of the NBA community's reaction to him getting fired whenever their team. They're 13-19. Damn. I did not realize it was that bad. I knew that it was bad and they were on a losing stretch. 13-19. Holy fuck. The West is so competitive, that doesn't even feel salvageable, man. That doesn't even feel salvageable. De'Aaron Fox tonight in Los Angeles. We have to find a way to get better, whether that's the players that aren't in this locker room or the players that are the players in this locker room. We have to buckle down and get better. The conference is continuing to grow, so we have to grow with it. Wow. We have to find a way to get better, whether that's players that aren't in this locker room or the players in this locker room. Do you think Fox could get traded for Jimmy Butler? No. Fox is going to get traded, though. That writing is on the wall. It feels like one of the NBA's worst-kept secrets. Fox will be on a new team in the not-so-distant future. Would be very shocked if something like that happens between now and the February 6th. Isn't that what it is? February 6th trade deadline. But this feels like a foregone conclusion that De'Aaron Fox will be somewhere else. The post below this team is soft and lacking the personalities required to dominate the league. I mean, part of that comes De'Aaron Fox. Like, is De'Aaron Fox a soft player? I'm just. It's weird because you can watch. De'Aaron Fox had that weekend where he scored 60 points and then 49 points the next game. And you see, like, De'Aaron Fox every now and then will have flashes where you're like, holy fuck. This guy's unreal. But, man, it feels so far. I mean, remember last year, the start of last season, I made a video that was like, hey, dude, De'Aaron Fox is playing like an MVP. That's how good he was to start the season. And then he just kind of tailed off. It just feels like he's so fast, so quick. Nobody in the league can keep up with him. His first step. It just feels like because of that, he can get a shot anytime he wants. He went 1 of 9 from 3 in their loss to the Lakers a couple nights ago. I don't know. What a weird situation this is. It just feels like it's headed towards a bad. Doug Christie's stupid rotations. They're already mad at Doug Christie's rotations. Malik Monk, sorry fans, we are going to turn it around. This just feels like this is headed towards a bad place. Unfortunately. Fox just seems not to care until the fourth quarter most of the time. You can't be a consistent star not giving a shit about the 3/4 of the game. Trade Fox for a bunch of depth and build around Sabonis, DeRozan, Murray. I mean, think about what you're saying, bro. I mean, this is one of those moments where it's like, you have to remember, not every team's going to win a championship. Teams know this. For some teams, it's better just to be competitive in the playoffs, giving your fans something to cheer for every night. The Kings, I think, are in that group. But just think about what you just said, bro. Build around Sabonis, DeRozan, and Keegan Murray. Dire. That's as bad as it gets. That's as bad as it gets. You can't build around Sabonis. Defensive liabilities in the front court don't work unless you're an MVP offensive player. Oh. Who would have guessed? Oh, everyone? Who would have thought? Oh, everyone thought this? Oh, okay. Nobody could have possibly known this. Oh, everyone knew. Hate to see it. We can all agree that if your team doesn't win a title, then they suck and all their players are frauds. Yes, exactly that. Is Sabonis even good, or is he a stat patter? Look, you guys know how I feel about Sabonis. He's obviously a good basketball player. Top 50 basketball player, for sure. But there's no way you can look at Sabonis's the box scores that he puts up, all the triple doubles, all the stats he puts up, and then turn into a Kings game and be like, oh yeah, that guy looks like a top 20 player. That guy looks like a top 15 player. No fucking way you can come to that conclusion by watching them. None at all. None. I don't know. Sabonis is a third option. I mean, the difficult part about Sabonis is to maximize all the things he provides, he has to be your offensive hub. That's how you're maximizing him. Is give him the ball at the elbow, let him run some dribble handoffs, let him pass out of the high post. Let him do all of those things. That's not your third option. And then on top of that, he doesn't space the floor, and he's not a good defender, and he's a 7-footer. Very difficult player to like really be competitive around. If you play him at the 4 and get a defensive 5, you're sacrificing shooting. Yeah, he's not a 4. He's not a 4. He's not. Let me tell you something. This isn't an ad. Let me tell you something. I got, for Christmas, someone gave me an espresso machine. Genuinely might have changed my life. Might have changed my life. Now, I've done K-Cups and shit like that. K-Cups suck. An espresso machine. Delicious. Incredible. And you know, I spent so much money on coffee. I'm not going to lie. It's probably the worst thing that I spent coffee on. What kind of espresso machine? An espresso. I don't know the model. It's an espresso. Drinking coffee out of a glass cup. It's plastic. It's iced coffee. How does that make me an unk? How does that make me an unk? What about what I just said? So that I can get you on real coffee setup. See, here's the thing too, is I don't want a real coffee setup. I like putting the fucking pod in and it doing it for me. The thing is, K-Cups I thought just sucked. Like, I just thought they tasted like absolute shit. They tasted fake. Old people fuck with coffee? All right, then I guess I'm old. I broke my glass that looked like a PBR. That's pretty funny. Only Unk would flex their coffee machine for Christmas. Man, I mean, what do you, I'm sorry, I'm not a child. I don't get toys anymore. All right. I don't get toys. My Christmas was a couple of, comfortable sweatpants, some sweatshirts, some Skims underwear, if you want to know, and an espresso machine. Hating on coffee is how I know you're 16. Coffee's my most expensive hobby for sure. Grinders cost hella money. See, like, I don't want to get into the weeds of like making my own coffee and spending X amount of dollars. The point about getting an espresso machine is I don't spend that much money. I can easily make my coffee quickly, boom, in, out. Coffee's so nasty. I love it. I love it. Coffee gives me bubble guts. I don't know how you guys can handle it. I don't know. See, I've never had that problem with coffee the way some people do. Is it maybe I don't know. Will you make me a coffee slightly? Sure. Yeah. The only way to make coffee good is add a bunch of non-coffee. See, I could drink coffee black pretty easily. I love coffee creamer, not the actual coffee itself. I think that's why some people say coffee gives them stomach aches, is because they add like a bunch of shit to their coffee. It's like, yeah, I added 5 packs of sugar, 6 pumps of syrup, and some milk. My stomach, man, is just getting fucked up. No, your stomach's fucked up because all that shit you just added. All these kids in here who drink Starbucks sugar milk. Show some respect to Starbucks, okay? I got in trouble on Twitter because I tweeted about Starbucks once. I honestly, I gotta be honest with you guys. I am online. I'm not chronologically online. I'm not like terminally online. I did not know there was a boycott going on, and since then I have not spoken about my Starbucks consumption. But just know that I still was consuming Starbucks. Okay? Just know that I still was consuming it. I don't do the consumerism boycotts. Just being honest with you. I don't do it. I don't think they do shit. Starbucks sucks. No, it just doesn't. It just doesn't. Like, that's just the fact. It just doesn't. And I Dunkin' sometimes, it tastes like battery acid, maybe about 15 to 20% of the time. Rest of the time, tastes really good. We'll give it that. Sugary coffee tastes good, and I'm tired of pretending I'm too good for it. No, I mean, it does taste good. It does taste good. But I do wonder when people are like, dude, sugar or coffee fucks up my stomach. It's like, what are you drinking with your coffee? Like, what is happening with your coffee? Is there any downsides to caffeine? Is caffeine? I saw a tweet yesterday. I think caffeine is a super drug, isn't it? Is there any real downside to it? Do we know that for sure? They don't work because the corporate overlords can always count on your buck. You are single-handedly hurting the cause. I mean, here's the thing. You have to realize that the overwhelming majority of people in the world are not terminally online. They don't even know. Like, I am online. I honest to God did not know a boycott was happening. I did not even know that. Not if you're consuming morning, like 500 milligrams a day. All right, 500 milligrams, yeah. Stresses your heart if you drink too much. You lose endorphins to dehydrate. Caffeine and nicotine are just god-tier drugs. Bad for the heart. Well, I think it's what if you're over consuming bad for the heart, but that's true for anything though. You can over consume apples. Makes you bald. Not in my experience. Read Caffeine by Michael Pollan. Is that a book? I'll put it on the list. I actually am looking for some more reads. My problem with reading, and we're really off the beaten path. I told you guys I haven't been consuming that much NBA over the past week, so I don't really know what I'm talking about. My problem with reading is I have to will my way back into it because my reading is not fun. I don't have a lot of fun reads. Whenever I'm like, it's time to start reading, we're reading the most either if I'm being honest, boring / fucked up and sad books that there is. What kind of books genres are you into? Nonfiction. Read the Luca book by Tim McMahon. I'll probably read that. Wait, what? I don't see the Caffeine book anywhere. I see a lot of Michael Pollan books, but I don't see any Caffeine books. Maybe you should read more about the efficacy of consumer boycotts. Maybe. Here we go. Oh, it's an Audible. Wait, is it just an Audible? Bro's Twitter's just shot with NBA content. It is. That's what's beautiful about it. It really kind of is. Either that or like shitting on Elon Musk is all over my timeline now, which is funny. Do you stroll into Barnes every once in a while? No, I just get all my books from Amazon. I spent a year reading. I got a Kindle a while back. I don't like it. I like having the book in front of me. I like touching the page. I like the smell. You know. Bryant with the 25 months in the Slightly Delusional Club. Over 2 years is crazy. Keep up the work, King. Thank you so much, Bryant. Tyler Durden. Oh, shit. Welcome to the Slightly Delusional Club. We got Fight Club members in the house. Been using the public library more lately. Nice. I need to get on that shit. I honestly don't know I don't know. You guys support your local library. All right, I bet. I actually, you know what? You want to know something? I might just do that. All right, let's get back to business. Read us books during streams, please. Should we do a book club? Oh, nice. I've been recording for this Dorian Finney-Smith video for 8 minutes. Well, let's go ahead and end that. We got our second trade of the month of December, which makes me feel like an idiot because I spent the entire last month saying, guys, no trades happen during December. Give it up. And now we have 2 trades in December. Kind of reminds me of last year. The Raptors made trades like a month or so before the trade deadline. The Nets are like, hey, we're trying to bottom out. Like, our team was too good. We trade Dennis Schroeder. Now it's time to trade Dorian Finney-Smith. And guys like Dorian Finney-Smith, Dennis Schroeder, you know you're probably not getting firsts in return for those guys. Like, you don't have a lot of negotiating power. So what's the point of sitting around and waiting? You know exactly what you want. If teams are ready to give it to you, just do it now. Dorian Finney-Smith to the Lakers. The Lakers have agreed on a trade sending D'Angelo Russell, Maxwell Lewis, and 3 second-round picks to the Brooklyn Nets for Dorian Finney-Smith and Shake Milton. I think this is a good get for the Lakers, personally. I don't know what it does in terms of turning them into a contender or anything like that, or really strengthening their chances at title contention. Now, I doubt this is it for the Lakers. I'm sure that they're going to be active at the trade deadline. I saw Jason Timpf point this out. I think it's a good point that Dodo is probably more of a Rui Hachimura replacement, where you can then put Rui Hachimura in a trade with other contracts to try and get a perimeter player and maybe one who's a little bit more defensive oriented. I don't know who that is on the trade market, to be honest with you. I know the Grizzlies were involved in a trade, or it sounded like the Grizzlies were at like the finish line for a Dorian Finney-Smith trade, according to Mark Stein. It makes me wonder, there's some talk about Marcus Smart. Like, could the Lakers tap into Marcus Smart. The Grizzlies are an interesting team to me because apparently Santi Aldama's on the trade block. I mean, I don't know. They're an interesting team to me. Chuckles, welcome to the Slightly Delusional Club. Lakers will probably just get Jonas. Ugh, could it be Fox? No. So actually, my brain was going more towards could they make a big trade to go after like an offensive guard? But then I heard Tim talk about it, and it does make sense that if they're just going to be like, hey, we need to get better defensively quickly. Santi's on the trade block. There was rumors about that. I don't know if those were reputable or not, but there was some talk. So they heard the Mavs are the front runners in the Chris Boucher sweepstakes. Holy fuck, guys. We got to stop everything we're doing and doing an emergency stream. Lakers go for Bruce Brown. That could be interesting, actually. Do you rate Santi slightly? I do, actually. I would be shocked if they trade him. He's a free agent, though, at the end of the year, isn't he? Isn't that what it is? So, anyways, I do like this pickup for the Los Angeles Lakers for a couple of different reasons. They're defensively, obviously, they've not been good, anywhere near good enough to be a team that wants to compete and contend at the highest level. This is a team that was starting Cam Reddish. I think Cam Reddish has 9 starts for them. Granted, some of that is injuries, Rui Hachimura and stuff like that, but that's how desperate they have been for any defense whatsoever. And look, here's the fact of the matter at hand, guys. Cam Reddish fucking stinks. Okay? He just does. They're 18th defensively. The Lakers are really not terrible. But it's just been difficult for them to try and string together any defensive momentum because they don't have a lot of good defenders on their roster. And the guys that they do have on their roster are Cam Reddish, who is good defensively. I will give him that. He is. But offensively, he's just a black hole. Cam Reddish is. Jared Vanderbilt. Did you forget that guy was in the league? I don't blame you. Never healthy. Genuinely never healthy. Obviously, AD's great defensively. LeBron's 40 years old now. Hey, by the way, happy birthday, LeBron. Happy birthday to you. LeBron is the big 4-0. Happy birthday, LeBron. That actually reminds me as well, rest in peace to Jimmy Carter, who passed away yesterday, 100 years old. Just thinking of old guys. That's why it reminded me of that. And defensively, they are one of the worst transition defenses in the NBA. Actually, they are the worst transition defense in the NBA. I think Dodo will help there. Dodo's not like this point of attack, guard the other team's best player guy anymore. He was really kind of never that. But he's a great team defender. And if they do go out and find a defensive-minded guard that they can plug into their starting five, and you could go Austin Reeves, defensive-minded guard, LeBron, Dorian Finney-Smith, Anthony Davis. That's not a bad grouping right there at all. Is that championship level? I'm not sure. But that's really not a bad group. Because LeBron doesn't run back on defense, neither does anyone else. Yeah, I thought Max Christie was that. Yeah, but you need a guy who's been there. You need a guy who's been there. This doesn't move the needle. It makes them better. I mean, does it make them a championship contender? No. But it does make them better. And if this is the first domino to drop for the Lakers, I'm interested to see what else is in store for them, to be honest with you. LeBron better not blame Dodo when they lose in the playoffs. So that is the sad part of this. If you've been following me for any period of time, anytime we do a prediction, like a trade deadline prediction or a free agent prediction, I think I've been predicting Dodo to go to the Lakers for years now. I for sure did it at the trade deadline last year. I think I did it in the offseason this year. And I think I did it in the offseason the year prior as well. It is a fit that's made sense. And it finally does happen. They also get Shake Milton. Like, Shake Milton can play a little bit. I've seen Lakers fans be like, holy fuck, hey guys, Shake Milton might be the get in this trade. I doubt that. But Shake Milton could play for them. And if you're the Nets, D'Angelo Russell, we'll see if he even plays a game for them. The talk kind of sounds like he might be getting bought out. Which, if D'Lo hits the buyout market, that's interesting. Now, aren't there rules there with the buyout? Like, second neighbor teams cannot get a D'Lo right? Because his contract was too high before the buyout. What's the rules there with the buyout guys in the second apron? Bought out back to Lakers, that can't happen either. Like, I saw people say the Timberwolves should get him if he gets bought out. Is that even possible? D'Lo ends up in Milwaukee. That'd be interesting. Like, keep an eye on where D'Angelo Russell ends up if he gets bought out, because that could actually be an impactful get for somebody. And Maxwell Lewis, who there's some people deep in the depths of Twitter, of draft Twitter, of Lakers Twitter, who think that the Maxwell Lewis inclusion here is very interesting, that he could turn into something serious. And we could look back on this trade and be like, whoa, they got Maxwell Lewis out of that? I don't know. This happens anytime a young guy is involved in a trade. People want to be the first. And if you just throw shit at the wall, it's going to stick eventually. People want to be the first one to be like, whoa, Maxwell Lewis, man, be on the lookout for this. That way you can go back 3 years from now and be like, I told you guys this. But if you say that about every young player, nobody's going to give a fuck if you're wrong at all. That's the secret, guys. That's the secret sauce, by the way, in case you didn't know. That is the secret sauce. If you just say something positive about every player, you're always right. Then you can just look back and be like, oh, yeah, well, X, Y, and Z happened. That's the secret sauce. Draymond just went to the Palace. Can you imagine? Jordan Nwora? Yes, Jordan Nwora. What trade was that? Was he in what trade was Jordan Nwora in? Where people were like, yo, Draymond got traded to the Pels. All right, you're done for the rest of the day. Okay? We're trying to have a serious programming here. Serious program here. What trade was Jordan Nwora in? Was it? I'm trying to fucking remember. Either way, it doesn't matter, I guess. But what's next for the Lakers? That remains to be seen. What's next for the Nets? Cam Johnson. It sounds like Cam Johnson is obviously on the market. According to our guy, Mark Stein. And Mark Stein is reputable. Mark Stein doesn't talk out of his ass. It was a Siakam trade. That's what I was thinking. The Brooklyn Nets are reportedly seeking multiple first-round picks in a potential trade package for Cam Johnson, per the Stein line. The Nets are now said to be seeking multiple first-round picks from teams interested in trading for sharpshooter Cam Johnson. Can they really expect to get more than one first-rounder for Johnson after the deal we just witnessed for Schroeder and Finney-Smith? Yes, I do. I don't think Schroeder and Finney-Smith's market affects Cam Johnson's whatsoever. Schroeder, an older point guard, on an expiring contract. You probably weren't getting a first-round pick there. Dorian Finney-Smith. Apparently the Grizzlies, kind of strange. Like, we knew every step of the Grizzlies negotiating in this. Anytime that happens, I immediately wonder who stands to gain from that. Like, every step of the process. The Memphis was said to be offering, like, we know what the Grizzlies offered. Memphis was said to be offering a first-round pick protected past the lottery along with John Conchar and Luke Kennard for Finney-Smith. That was the Grizzlies' offer. Lottery protected first-round pick this year, John Conchar, Luke Kennard for Dorian Finney-Smith, and second-round picks. Going back to the Nets. Now, you might be hearing them be like, why the fuck would the Nets not take the first-round picks? D'Angelo Russell's an expiring contract. That's very valuable. And I believe Kennard still has years left on his deal. So the Nets just want the expiring. The Nets want the expiring contract. Kennard has, just 1 year left, $9 million. Is Conchar under a contract then? Look at Mark Stein about the tradable players. Where? Mike Brown wanted DeMar to come off the bench. That's why Lou Will came out and said, but who knows? Oh, Conchar's got $6 million this year, $6 million next year, $6 million the year after. I mean, not like a horrible contract, but for a guy like John Conchar, like, who the fuck wants to pay John Conchar $6 million? God bless the guy, but let's be honest. Maybe they're working on expanding the deal to send D'Lo elsewhere. Maybe. I would say it's probably more likely that D'Lo is a buyout guy. I do think, and also, the Nets have so many picks in the coming years. I do wonder, like, is there a world where the Nets make a trade we're surprised by this year? They kind of strike me as that type of franchise. Like they're a little bit more invested in like win now guys than maybe we think. Next month, the cap space and D'Lo's on expiring contract. Yeah, that ended up being what it was. They're going to have a ton of cap to play around with this offseason. Is that the route they want to go team building wise again? I'm not sure. But I do think that they could get a first rounder for Cam Johnson. I do think that they can get a first rounder for Cam Johnson. Multiple first rounders wouldn't surprise me at all. You have to remember, some of the teams that are now in their contending window, the Thunder have 1 trillion picks. The Grizzlies have picks to throw around if they want to get involved in this. Why do the Nets always make huge trades that end in bust? That's just what they love doing. A first rounder, yes. You think multiple unprotected firsts? Multiple, I'm not sure. Could they get 2 firsts for Cam Johnson? Yes. What do those firsts look like? That's a different question. Are those high-end firsts or are those more so firsts? Kuzma should go to the Mavs. All right. Let's get into – can we talk about some Mavs trades? Guys, I'm telling you guys, I think this is going to be a boring trade season for the Mavericks, okay? I'm telling you guys. Would love Olynyk. Guys, I'm telling you right now, and I know we're getting into the trade season, and I have to acknowledge this stuff now. I've been purposefully ignoring it, but now it's time to really get into it. I'm not sitting here on streams and talking about Kelly Olynyk going to the fucking Mavericks for any extended period of time whatsoever, okay? I'm just not doing it. I'm not talking about Kelly Olynyk playing for the Mavs. I just refuse to do it. Mavs have a huge offseason for contracts. They will be quiet. Yeah, I don't. Plus, the Mavs are good, dude. I mean, they're going to lose some games during this stretch without Luka, but we know how good they are. I hope. My hope is that they do not make a panic trade. Kelly O priority 1A and 1B. My God. Is that really what the fuck we're talking about? Oh my God. Paul with the $2. Hey, what would it take to get Olynyk to the Mavs? Oh man. This is going to be a fun month plus, isn't it? This is going to be a fun month. Hey bro, how do you like my trade? It's like Maxi Kleba, Omax, and a first for Kelly Olynyk. Yeah, that trade fucking sucks. Please never send me a trade again. I expect that conversation to be had a million times between now and February 6th. Hey, how do you like my trade, bro? It's like 7 rotational players for the Mavs. For Bruce Brown. Yeah, the trade sucks. Thanks for sending it. Look at this Stein post about Olynyk. Dude, what's your infatuation with Kelly Olynyk? What is your infatuation with him? I don't get it. There's some more trade slop. Players like Jonas Valanciunas, Malcolm Brogdon, Kelly Olynyk, Bruce Brown, and Jordan Clarkson are expected to be available for second-round compensation per the Stein line. Other veterans believed to be available for second-round draft compensation with 39 days to go until the trade deadline include Valanciunas and Brogdon, Toronto's Kelly Olynyk and Bruce Brown, and Utah's Jordan Clarkson. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. Jordan Clarkson on a contending team. Okay, I'm interested in that. Now, of course, when you talk about any of these guys, immediately you got to talk about the number that they are making financially. Jordan Clarkson is at $14 million. That's really not a bad number at all. I was thinking that was in the 20s for some reason. $14 million for Jordan Clarkson. That's easily tradable. You could easily find somebody out there that would love to do that. Jonas Valanciunas is what, $10 million this year? I think that's a contract that teams could easily find the salary to match for in a trade. $10 million or $9.9 million this year, 10 the next year, 10 the next year. B-Dot, 25 months. Kelly Olynyk to the Mavs. Hey man, how about Kelly Olynyk to the Mavericks? What is Kelly O making? Did he just sign with them? Was he a free agent this offseason and stayed? I can't believe I'm even fucking looking at this. Yeah, signed a contract extension in March. $12 million for Kelly Olynyk this year. Hey man, that Max Kleba for Kelly and Bruce Brown is 20. The Bruce Brown one becomes a little bit more interesting because that's a little bit more difficult to trade for. But I would say, and we haven't, Bruce Brown's at $23 million this year. Shout out to the Indiana Pacers. Bruce Brown's played one game this season. I do think, and last year was rough for him. He just made his season debut last night. I would think out of this group of players, Bruce Brown is probably the most impactful for a veteran team, a team that's trying to win, just because, well, we know he can be a piece on a championship team. We've seen that. Versatile, could come off the bench, does all of the things you want a guy like that to do. Brogdon's kind of interesting to me as well. He's at $22 million. Clarkson's interesting to me. These like scoring guys off the bench. Brogdon more of like a floor general off the bench, but Clarkson a scoring guy off the bench. Those guys are interesting to me. Paul at the 5. I was just trolling, but now I'm afraid we'll accidentally will Olynyk into happening. I don't think so. I don't think so. You think about teams, contending teams that might be in the market for some scoring, especially some bench scoring. I think about teams like Orlando. I don't know. I really don't know what the Magic are going to do. That win they got yesterday was crazy, but the Magic are 20-14 with all of their injuries. They might not do shit. They really might not do shit. I think a team like Milwaukee would love to have a Jordan Clarkson or Malcolm Brogdon come off the bench for them. Zach, welcome to the Slightly Delusional Club. I think a team like Houston would love a reliable go-to bucket getter. But the problem with like a team like Houston is they might just be cool with playing this shit out. They've lost a few games in a row, but they might be cool playing this shit out. And let's see who we can rely on in a playoff setting. And then we can make changes to our roster. We see teams do this all the time. Clarkson is who I can see Hardy becoming one day. Maybe. What do you think Cam Thomas market value is? I'm not sure. Cam Thomas is like one of those weird players where I feel like his trade return would be surprising in a bad way. Houston needs to get rid of overpaid Van Fleet. The thing is they really can't lose Van Fleet. No chance Hardy blows. Okay. I don't want this to turn into a Hardy shit fest. I'm trying to see what teams across the league need a little bit more bench production. The Grizzlies, this is no surprise whatsoever, lead the league in points from their bench. Not a shocking development at all. The Warriors second. That's not shocking at all. They play a 17-man rotation. The Knicks, could the Knicks use some scoring punch off the bench? Well, this isn't that surprising either because they play a 12-man rotation. What is the minutes? I wonder what the minutes played means. Is this just like the average minutes per game for guys who come off the bench? Them being dead last isn't a surprise. The Kings, I could see the Kings making a move but do they need another guard though? The Kings need somebody off their bench who can fucking score the basketball. That much is certain. Timberwolves interested in Keon Ellis. What would that trade look like? Nuggets obviously would love to have someone like Jordan Clarkson or Malcolm Brogdon, but contractually, I don't think they have. Even Bruce Brown coming back, contractually, I don't think that's even really possible for them. Hardy's the one guy in the Mavs that Kyrie is a bad influence on because he thinks he can take the same shots as Kai. Dude, I just think that's who Jaden Hardy is. That's just who Jaden Hardy is. I think there's a world where the Thunder could go for a guy off the bench who can score. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Thunder do next to nothing again. I'm very interested to see what the market is for some of these guys. Bruce Brown, I think, will be a pretty highly sought after commodity. Kelly Olynyk, I mean, I know we're joking and memeing. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure what Kelly Olynyk, what his value is. Valanciunas, I'm thinking about teams like the Lakers, the Suns. A Nurkic-Valanciunas swap. Would the Wizards want to do that? I don't know. But a Nurkic-Valanciunas swap and then some draft compensation, whatever the fuck that would look like, I think it absolutely makes the Suns a better team. They have this young rook, AJ Mitchell, who's been balling out for a second-round rookie. Oh, yeah, for sure. AJ Mitchell's a good player. But I'm saying just a reliable go-to bucket getter off the bench. Only look at Olynyk's, his stats, and that we never talk about him again. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I get it. We're getting to this point. We've seen a couple of trades. Every team now every fan base is now fantasizing trades of their own. And it is that dopamine. That dopamine hit when you get that notification and there's a trade is next. And I think the dopamine hit when you get a notification that there's a trade and it's your team involved. I mean, it's great. I want a starting five of Nurk, Jonas, Turner, Olynyk, and Sabonis. That'd be a 6 starting five. You think there's a chance OKC can get Malik Monk? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to want guys with longer contracts like that. It's a very friendly deal. But they just paid Caruso. They're going to have to give... I mean, J-Dub and Chet are getting super maxes. Or not super maxes, but, you know, the rookie max. So let's talk about Naz Reid to the Mavs. All right, it ain't happening. There you go. John Collins to the Mavs, probably not happening either. Well, this leads us to some more interesting Dallas Mavericks talk, actually. Report, Kyle Kuzma is interested in getting traded to the Dallas Mavericks per Jake Fisher. By all indications, he has a lot of interest in going to Dallas. Shout out to my guy Noah Weber. He was at our... I did not know that Jake Fisher was working for Mark Stein. How about that? He was at our hoop run on Saturday morning. So Kyle Kuzma has a lot of interest in going to Dallas. Obviously, this is funny because last year, the Mavericks were ready to trade for Kyle Kuzma. It was pretty much a done deal from all the reporting. And Kuzma said he didn't want to. That he thought that they were a piece away from championship contention. Obviously, a self-report there because you would think he'd say they're a piece away. I'm that piece. I'm on my way. Instead, he said, "No, you know what? I got to be honest with myself. I'm not making that team a contender." Which you have to respect that. Yeah, you do have to respect that self-report there. Kuzma, you need to trade Kleba, Powell, and Najee. What's this? Fisher said he also spoke with people connected to the Mavs front office and mentions they'd most likely not be interested in giving any key assets for Kuzma. Yeah, this is not a surprise at all. What is he talking
interest in going to Dallas, which is interesting to me, being that was a situation he could have gone to last year, but the Wizards, interestingly, went to Kyle Kuzma and gave him the opportunity to accept that trade or decline it. He chose to stay. That's when the Maverick Gafford and Najee Marshall, in addition to Maxi Kleber.
Mavs get Kuzma for $2 million. What is it people wanting to get rid of Najee? Yeah, I don't think this trade makes sense. Now, I will say this, everyone who's writing this off immediately. The Mavs historically like to circle back to guys that they wanted, didn't get. The Mavs do like to circle back. And if there was a world where you could make this trade happen by it being Maxi and maybe another player that wasn't in your rotation, really, I could see it, and I wouldn't think it was that bad, honestly. The problem is you would have to cut into your rotation. You'd have to cut into your rotation. It would have to be Maxi and then plus somebody else who's actually in your rotation just to make it work contractually. And that just doesn't make sense for the Mavericks. You know, that's where it doesn't make sense anymore. That might be a Mark Cuban thing to do. Yeah, true. I mean, Kuz and PJ on the same lineup could be an interesting dynamic. No, I'm saying if this were possible, it would be interesting. Kuzma could come off your bench. You have some more size. You have somebody who can go and get a bucket himself. I know he hasn't shot the 3-ball well this season. I don't think you can take anything anybody's doing on the Wizards seriously. We have seen Kuzma be like a really solid rotational piece on a championship-winning team. So I think it could be interesting, but it just doesn't work. There's no way to make it work. There's no way to make it work without cutting into your rotation. Look at Fanspo, dude. Ugh. I'm telling you, I haven't had fun. I have not had fun on the Fanspo thing. It was fun like the first couple of times. It's not really fun anymore because all the trades are horrible. But I am on Fanspo right now, just trying to figure out how you can make this work contractually. And it goes deeper than this. It's not just as simple as it works financially. There's other things involved. So Kuzma's making $23 million this year. This is something to maybe watch in the offseason. But Kuzma's making $23 million this year. Maxey, that's 11. You have to make up $12 million now. I mean, how do you go about doing that? You send them back Gafford. Well, now you have a huge gaping hole at your backup 5 spot. And Lively's hurt all the fucking time. PJ, no way in hell you're doing that. Clay, you're not doing that either. Najee and Powell. Najee's making $8 million for the next 3 years. That's a great contract. Can we be honest about Gafford, man? I mean, honest in what way? Like I've had my concerns with Gafford all season long. I think Gafford's a good player. I don't think he's like. There's like some Mavs fans that would kill you for even suggesting that he could maybe be tradable. He's a rock solid center. That's valuable. I think it'd be, and I don't think Gafford's getting traded. I don't even like entertaining the idea. But when it came down to the hypothetical, would you trade Gafford for Herb Jones? And a bunch of Mavs fans were saying no. I think that's fucking crazy. But I don't even like spending time on it because it would never happen. At least not this offseason, or at least not this trade season. And it probably will never happen. Herb Jones, now we're talking about an impact player. Yeah, and there was a hypothetical trade scenario going around where the Mavs trade Gafford for Herb Jones, and a lot of Mavs fans said no. That's silly. That really is silly. And I get it because the Mavs center rotation has been bad for so long that now it's good, and you're going to get rid of one of the reasons why it's so good in Daniel Gafford. But Herb Jones is a 35-minute per game in the playoff player. Daniel Gafford is not that at all. That's just the reality. If we were guaranteed that all of our players are healthy until the end of the season, I wouldn't make a single trade. I don't think the Mavs are going to do much of anything. I just don't. I don't see it. Because here's the thing, too, is, you look at their contracts. Maxey has a year left after this. The only real expirings the Mavs have, they're going to have to pay Quentin Grimes this offseason. Interested to see what his number is, but he's restricted. Exum, would love to have Exum back, but I don't know what his market's going to be, especially if he comes back in the coming weeks and looks good and is healthy to close out the season. And that's it. I mean, Markieff Morris, Spencer Dinwiddie, these are guys who are probably going to be, either vet minimum guys. I mean, Markieff Morris, absolutely a vet minimum guy. But Dinwiddie, he's having a pretty decent season. Like, it's not like they have expiring contracts that they're like, we need to, capitalize on this right now, like D'Angelo Russell on the Lakers, for example. So they don't really, have to do anything. If Herb was available, and he definitely isn't, just trade Gafford, Kleber, et cetera, and get another center like Jonas Val. I mean, if Herb Jones was available and there was a world where the Mavs can make it happen with Maxi Kleber, Daniel Gafford, and whatever picks, and it comes out that they didn't do that, I would be pissed. I would be upset. I don't think it's possible. And I don't even think that's interesting from the Pelicans' perspective. Like, why would they do that? Yves Missy's been good. Now I have Gafford. I have a backup center to replace my 30-plus minute per game, unbelievable perimeter defender. Pels need a center, though. I mean, for what reason? Their season is over. They're 5-27. Their season's done. It's done. There's no hope. Think about being 5-27. Think about how crazy that is. They went out. If they were to win out, how many wins is that? I'm trying to do the math in my head really quickly. 55 wins? That's like the 3 seed in the West. They would have to win out. Like if they lose 10 more games the rest of the season, they're done. They're done. And they are done. They've lost 9 straight. Mavs got a 7-5 guy. Guys, we watched Sharp in the preseason and summer league. He's not an NBA player, man. Okay. $11 million for Thibault is nothing, but like Maxey for Thibault, what does that accomplish? I don't know. That accomplishes next to nothing for me. Thibault's so overrated. I mean, I best defender on the team right away. Yeah, but in a playoff setting, he's probably not playing. I don't know. I think I'm trying to prepare you guys because I know for the next month plus I'm going to be bombarded with horrific trade proposals. I'm trying to prepare you guys for the Mavericks doing nothing. It's not fun. I get it. I understand. You know, in years past, we know the Mavericks have needed things and they've been aggressive at the trade deadline. So it's fun to sort of and the Mavericks have. They've been one of the most aggressive teams in the league, one of the most aggressive front offices in the league over the last 5 years. But there might not be one this year. I'm just letting you guys know this right now. There's probably not one this year. DeAndre Hunter's another name the Mavs should give a look at, and that's another guy. Isn't Hunter making $20 million? Hunter's at 21. That's really hard. That's a hard number for the Mavericks to get at. Because yeah, Maxey. Okay, include Maxey. Okay, you got to make up $10 million. And also, if the Hawks were to make a move like this, they're trying to get under the tax. Like, they're trying to cut this number down. Fuck it, go get Isaiah Thomas. Hell yeah. Let's bring back IT. If the Mavs were just healthy, we wouldn't need trades. I mean, they probably don't need trades. Like, I know this next month might suck without Luka, but as long as they stay afloat, they'll be fine. Isaiah Stewart is another guy. $15 million. All right. Fine. You want to do Maxey and what? Omax? That gets you close enough. You can probably make this work. Great. Are you attaching first round picks? You guys watch Isaiah Stewart? Like that's not that fun of a trade. Trey Murphy, you don't have the assets. How nervous are you that the Mavs make a panic trade? I'm not nervous at all. I don't think they would do that. Malachi Flynn. All right, we're done talking about trade slop. This team won't win a championship unless they get a better point of attack defender. You have a team like the Thunder with 5 different elite point of attack defenders while we have nothing. Who's out there though? I mean, I do kind of agree with you. Although I think the Mavs can scrap something together. But like, who's out there? The thing about the Thunder point of attack defenders is most of them can stay on the floor, but even then, we saw last year, why did the Mavs win that series? Because they helped off Lou Dort. They helped off Chet Holmgren. Like, yeah, the idea of this great point of attack defender who's also like a reliable enough three-point shooter that he spaces the floor. Those guys are making $20+ million and are very, very hard to find. Guess what? The Thunder look incredible right now. Guess what some of my huge concerns for them are? Teams are going to help off Caruso. Teams are going to help off Lou Dort. Teams are going to help off Chet Holmgren when he comes back in a playoff setting. They're going to shrink the court. Are those guys reliable enough? Tenth best defense, 28th best defense, third last with PJ on and off the floor. Yeah, I mean PJ is very important. Herb Jones isn't even a reliable shooter. Yeah, but Herb Jones does stuff offensively, though. He's not just a shooter. Matisse Thybulle is a zero, on an actual zero on offense. Actually, a negative. He's a negative player offensively. He's a negative player offensively. At least Caruso gives you like some interesting playmaking. Same shit with Davion Mitchell, black hole on offense. I'm telling you, the guys who are like reliable enough offensive players that you don't worry about them being unplayable in playoff settings while also being elite defenders are making $20+ million in the NBA. When PJ Washington is a free agent again, he will be making $20+ million easily. Easily. Lonzo Ball cannot stay on the basketball court. What do you think about the Mavs Kings tonight? I'm worried about it. I'm worried about the Kings losing 6 straight games, and they're going to have a game at some point where it's like, feel good, we're going to play, we fired our coach, like we're going to rally around that, and we're going to go out and really play. Like, that's happening. They do have too much talent on their roster. It would not surprise me at all if it's tonight. My favorite part of hypothetical Mavs trades is this fan base swears the entire league is dying to give us anything for Maxey. They swear is the worst player in the league. I just, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't think there's a trade there, guys. If there is one, it's probably going to be small. Okay? It's good to be back in the saddle. We got a busy slate of games tonight across the NBA. You have Mavs, Kings. The Kings are 3.5-point favorites at home. Obviously, the Mavs dealing with so many injuries. Najee Marshall's still suspended. That was dumb as fuck. PJ Washington's coming back from his suspension. Lively's questionable. I got to say, I'd be a little bit surprised if he does play, which is unfortunate to say the least. And Sacramento Kings killer Dante Exum is not playing, obviously. You got Bulls, Hornets, Knicks, Wizards, Clippers, Pelicans, Nuggets, Jazz, Cavs, Warriors is kind of interesting. Sixers and Blazers. So not a lot of like marquee matchups, but either way. Busy slate of games. Happy to be back here on Slightly Early. If you guys are listening to this on Spotify, leave a 5-star review. I love you. Next time you hear me, my voice will be sounding crisp. And I'm still dealing with like the remnants of this illness I caught a couple weeks ago where I'm still so stuffy. But new equipment, new microphone. Woo! I mean, it already sounds pretty good, but we're going to be sounding really good. Really good. And that's going to do it for me. So, Wednesday, I do plan on being live. That is December 1st. Or, I'm sorry, January 1st, New Year's. And I do have New Year's Eve plans. Now, I'm Unk, right? I already said I've accepted that moniker. I'm Unk. That's cool. What about the fight? Oh, shit. I forgot to talk about the fight. Oh, well. I don't really have much to say about it. Luka's house was robbed. Your take, Mr. Biased? That sucks. I don't really have much to add about that either. What is there to say? Uncle slamming Diet Cokes until 8 p.m. I'm not going out or anything, but I do have plans with some friends and stuff. I can't imagine that New Year's Day becomes like this horrible hungover event for me. But it is possible. So I'm not sure. Let's just call myself a game time decision for Wednesday morning. Let's just call myself questionable. If we keep our pick in the draft, what type of player can we get late to mid first at the power forward? I have no idea. That's like, we're just finally getting the trade slot. That comes later. You sound like a disappointed father. Just say out. No, because, I mean, there's a world where I'm in bed by 1, and I feel fine. You know? It's a very real world that does exist. A universe out there that does exist. I'm so excited to set up all this shit, though, man. So excited. I'm really getting old. The shit that excites me nowadays. Need a hug? Here you go, man. There you go. Draft talk, hopefully not until a week before the draft itself. Would be nice to play in June again. Yeah. You're sure on playback later? Yes, I will be live on playback tonight, 9 p.m. Need a kiss? Nine o'clock at night. Feels like we've had a lot of those this season. Are we almost done with these? Huh? Let's look at the schedule. This is the last 9 p.m. game until February 25th. How about that? And one of only 4 left. All right. We can make it. We can do that. There's only, including tonight, there's only 4 games that start at 9 o'clock or later. Yeah, a brutal April 4th, April 5th, back-to-back nights in LA against the Clippers, 9:30. Yay. But we can handle this. Don't forget to boycott Big Coffee. Yes. I love it. I fucking love it. And then I have, what's that company called? Ciabatta? It's not Ciabatta. But it's something like that. They make yogurt and shit too. Chaboy? It's not Chaboy. Come on, England. Chobani. Yeah. Chobani. I got Chobani. Creamer. Really good, folks. Really good. Sally, how long till you come out with your own coffee beans? Is that like an ethical... Oh, fuck. One thing I forgot to talk about. I saw this yesterday, and I don't remember any of this, but I forgot to talk about this when I was talking about the Kings. De'Aaron Fox was a part of a rug pool. I don't remember this at all. During the NFT craze, there were so many of these that like they all kind of went under the rug. But De'Aaron Fox apparently had like a really bad NFT scandal. De'Aaron Fox NFT scandal explained. From legality to what happens next. No sport seems to have embraced NFTs short for non-fungible tokens quite like the NBA over the past year. NBA Top Shot was one of technology's first commercial hits, and several players have become investors in and proponents of the blockchain technology that powers NFTs. Now, I will say this. I got reached out to by Top Shot very early on. This was when I was smaller, much smaller. And it wasn't like a real reach out thing. It was more so like a, yo, do this. And to be honest with you, I didn't even understand it. And I still don't. Consuming too much caffeine can take your sperm count down. For real, I'm not even playing. That's all right. I'm not even busting. If Cuban runs for president, there's bound to be an NFT scandal lurking for him. Cuban's not running for president. That ship has sailed. Fox's NFT project called Swipe of the Fox. Swipe a cam. Like a sponsorship opportunity. I honestly don't even remember what it was. It wasn't a sponsorship. Unk's not a gooner. No. I would never want to be considered a gooner. Shams? For real? It's my turn now. Apparently Shams tweeted something. And now we're waiting to see it. Shams has tweeted nothing. Put user in timeout for 10 seconds. Fox's NFT project called Swipe of the Fox. Hey, all right. Hey, man. Hey. Real quickly here. Man to man. Unk to Neth. Unk to Niece. If you buy a fucking NFT and the name is literally Swipe the Fox, you're a dumbass. Okay? You are a dumb fuck. Fox's NFT project called Swipe of the Fox mostly disappeared Wednesday after having pulled in roughly $1.5 million after it was announced in December. The project disappeared without any warning and had more than 100,000 followers in its Discord channel and scrubbed its social media. So I'm not a Discord guy. But these 100,000 follower Discord channels, what do those look like? Is that just a shit show? I can't even imagine. It had promised to create a metaverse for fans of Fox. Scholarships to the University of Kentucky. That's cool. Where he went to school for 1 year. And other goodies. Fox later tweeted that the project was ill-timed and that it took too large a burden on him during the course of the current NBA season. He also said that he plans to continue with his NFTs in the future. I'm assuming that never happened. This article is from 2022. I want to address an NFT project we launched recently. The project launch was ill-timed. I delegated certain aspects to the launch of the NFT in an attempt to partner with professionals. We weren't happy with the execution and demand on my time and attention during the NBA season. It is the highest profile NFT project to go bust in NBA circles. Fox signed a max extension. Okay, blah, blah, blah. How much money are we talking about? This requires a bit of cocktail napkin math because cryptocurrencies are prone to volatility issues. Fox NFTs were reportedly minted, created on the blockchain by users who wanted one for 0.085 ETH. That's Ethereum cryptocurrency. Dude, all of this shit's a foreign language to me, man. I have tried in the past to like get to know this. I have a friend who's like, I have a friend to his credit that was a crypto guy like back when we were in high school, and was like, dude, he made a decent amount of money off of cryptocurrency, and I've tried my hardest for him to try and understand. But it's really hard for me. It all comes back to me, like, why does any of this matter? Like, you're telling me it's backed by the blockchain. Why do I give a fuck about the blockchain? Like, well, it's better than real currency because it's backed by this and backed by this. But who gives a fuck? It's just how my brain works. My brain, that doesn't understand it. At the project's January 15th launch, one Ethereum was worth about $3,100. The Action Network, which translates to about roughly $250 to mint one of Fox's NFTs. That means buyers spent about $1.5 billion on Swipe of the Fox NFTs. What did these look like? What did these even look like? So were you... What did these look like? Tell me that's not true. Tell me what I'm looking at is not what they actually look like. Dude, I don't, for the life of me, I don't understand this shit. Why do they all look like this? Is there a reason why they all look so shitty? And like, I think there's a world where like this stuff could happen and like it's just like an online digital collectible, whatever. But dude, this is brutal. Like, what the hell? Official NFT page for De'Aaron Fox. Is this really true? Okay. Okay. They haven't tweeted since July of 2022, and they turned their replies off. Oh, hey, Fox fam, we've got your new NFT team. This announcement is just so everyone knows that development for the project is underway. The new team has the focus and capabilities of delivering De'Aaron's vision of creating a fan-focused platform. They haven't said anything since then. The legal team got to them. That's what the legal team got to them. Wow. Oh, wow. They were suing? They were suing De'Aaron Fox? Wait. De'Aaron is going to focus on the season until the season ends. His lawyers will be busy with defamation claims. Dude, why was this not a bigger story? This is actually I think it was because there were so many of these at the time that they all just kind of went away. Wow. Swipe a gang. Dude, these look so fucking horrible. Yeah, man. Hey, little Jimmy, I'm sorry. I can't get you any Christmas presents this year because I spent $250 on a Marine Swipe of the Fox. I spent all my money on a Marine Swipe of the Fox, and it's done. It lost all of its value the moment I bought it. This means, imagine spending hard-earned money on that. Are buyers getting their money back? It doesn't look like it. No, fuck no, they're not getting their money back. But Fox has promised users who bought certain numbers of his NFTs an autographed jersey. Nah, this shit's hilarious, bro. Dude, this was a funny-ass time. This was a funny time in history. It just was. An autographed jersey. Hey, sorry that you lost $2,000 buying my NFTs. Here's a jersey for your trouble. Isn't this illegal? In the real world, if you promise something, take money for it, and don't deliver, you're liable. The crypto universe is decentralized finance that resists government and institutional controls and oversight. However, is a bit of a Wild West. Situations like this and the litany of crypto and NFT swindles fuel likely government step in at some point. Enough of these situations occur that they've taken on a name: rug pulls. What's a rug pull? Like the term suggests, yanking a rug from under something. It means an NFT scam in which a project is created and sold to the public, and the backers then abscond with the money while shutting everything down. Is Fox NFT a rug pull? If this was intentional, yes. Didn't they say he made $1.5 million? Dude, who on De'Aaron Fox team okayed this? Bro, he's making how much a year? How much money is De'Aaron Fox making a year? 1.5 million? Really, dude? All this for $1.5 million? How much of it is he even seeing? It's all going in on Slightly Coin. Yeah, so kind of awkward timing, but I do want to announce Slightly Coin will be coming soon. I promise you guys, we're gonna make a whole universe, a whole Slightly universe. It's gonna be great, guys. Scholarships, by the end of it, maybe even a trip to space for a lucky investor. It's all gonna be great, guys. And don't worry about it. I'm here for the long term. I'm here for the long term. I'm ready to make sure this becomes the crypto coin of the future. Slightly Coin. I can't wait. I cannot wait. We're right now talking to my private investors about how we want to go about setting this up. The right time to go public and sell right before we go. The right time to go public and you guys get to buy the coin. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait. Trying to find some, shady third parties that will buy the coin for us, so our names aren't technically involved in it. I'm sorry, that's not what I meant to say. We also have a legal team ready to sue for defamation if it comes to it. Just letting you know. Does he need the money? Oh, this was my question. While his personal finances are private, it's known that Fox is in the first year of a 5-year, $163 million contract with the Kings. He's been paid $52 million pre-tax over his first 5 NBA season. So it seems like $1.5 million is a lowly sum for a con. Especially, too, there's a whole team behind this, right? He probably would have gotten $100,000, $200,000 from this. So do you have any intention of being ruler of my country next elections? Guys, I made this clear. Constitutionally, you have to be 35 years or older to be elected as president. I will not be that by the time the next election cycle comes around. So I'm sorry to disappoint, but I will not be running. Jesus Christ. Cartoony computer generated foxes in various outfits and styles. Dude. This was such a dark time. Bro, this looks like shit, man. What the hell's going on, bro? All right. You guys, you want to know something? You guys deserve to get your money taken. That's just what it boils down to. That's just the reality of the situation at hand, man. Yeah, he's not even ripped. Oh. That just went away, huh? He got Gyno? Yeah. We need slightly an FT? No, we don't. Anywho, I'm going to bed. Talk to you all later. You think it might have been someone from Fox Inner Circle doing the rug pull? Absolutely. If I had to guess, somebody got in De'Aaron Fox's ear and was like, hey, this would be a great opportunity for you to interact with your fans, stuff like this. Interact with your fans, create this like Fox universe. It'd be fun. You make scholarships. De'Aaron Fox just like, okay, cool. Like make some money off of it. You probably don't have to do much. Where in reality, somebody on his team is probably making a lot of money off of it. And somebody on his team is not making $30 million a year in the NBA. So that's almost certainly what happened. So you think Luka will return post All-Star break? Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. All right, folks, I'm gonna head out. We'll be live tonight, 9 p.m. sharp. Jesus, love you all. Chat with you all later. Oh wait, forgot. It's been so long. We do a real outro here. This is it. This is actually goodbye to this microphone. Tonight on stream, hopefully, assuming everything goes well, the new microphone setup will be here. We'll miss you, buddy. We will. We'll miss you. All right. Thank you all for coming out. All the OGs, you guys know I love you very much. Kiss spend your Monday morning anywhere in the world. You decide to spend it here. New subscribers, I promise you guys not regret it. Donations, members, thank you guys so much. You never have to do that, but helps out tremendously. Makes me feel so good. If you guys enjoy the rest of your Monday, I will talk to you all later tonight. And then Wednesday, slightly early, is TBD. I'd like to think I'll be good and ready to go, but I guess we'll see. Love you all. Chat with you all later. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.